Wisconsin is this thing on? Mainly Wisconsin. Again, we got people all over. Shout out to Deb out in Arizona. We got quite a few activists who help legalize a few different states that have been following along and helping out where they can. Let's see here, and giving advice, that kind of stuff. I hate that it always pops up. Send stars. You don't have to send stars by any means. I delete that thing right away. We got Phil from Weefma here. What's up, Philly boy? We got Randy, the OG. Get it done every single day, every event. I'm going to call him the champ. Randy, the champ's here. We got Heather. Same thing. See you guys everywhere we go. Appreciate y'all swinging out tonight. Before we get rolling, always like to touch base and thank the sponsors of the show. Huge shout out to Ignite Dispensary, located across Wisconsin, Manitowoc, Spooner, Hayward, Milwaukee areas. They got some awesome products, huge selection of drinks. Please check them out. Then they also are going to be in a few of your grocery stores and probably even some of your favorite bars and restaurants. So keep an eye out for the product lineup there. Got some exciting stuff going on after a very hectic weekend. Just kind of want to touch base on that we had a few people that had some questions about products. So if you're swinging by and you happen to have that question about product, we had some questions about THCA, that kind of stuff, just drop them in the comments. We'll chop it up as we got a chance here. But first of all, the weekend, as a lot of you know, the whole pizza thing, that thankfully I got to talk to a few of you today and over the last couple days. For some reason, the pizza thing brought attention to Let's Legalize Wisconsin, which I guess kind of makes sense. Being a advocate for cannabis consumption in a state where it is sometimes misunderstood, to say the least. But I was not expecting the pressure, I guess, of, this is so-and-so with so-and-so. What is your take on? And I'm like, I can't even figure out the name of the business yet. You know, we got shit going on the weekend too, like personal family stuff, right? I try to unplug on the weekends as best as I can. So at first, I'm not gonna lie, first couple phone calls, I'm like, not a big deal, we'll blow it off. But then a couple emails come in, and then somebody who's had a pizza and they're yelling at me, and I'm like, this is why I can't be. I'm like, bro, just okay. What I've tried to do since I hate saying I started this, right? Because it's all of us, right? It's the voice of the people. This is not a Bobby Beans. I don't know. That always just weirds me out when it kind of comes across that way. So please don't take it that way. But I knew that I've got a lot of people who would give me insight and I didn't know what to do with the pizza situation, right? People are looking for answers. The press is looking for answers, and the people are looking for answers. And I basically just came down here to the compound, the Let's Legalize compound here. You know, had a little Northern Lights. Shout out to my buddy out there in Swamiko. And just kind of thought about it for a little bit. And I'm like, it was definitely more serious than what I thought it was. You know, I gave the apology. I wanted to do that just because it was very serious. And it was just like, okay, I felt like at that point in time, somebody needed to do something about weed. The cannabis community apologizes. We're going to start holding each other accountable. Da 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 da. And then I got a message from a very trusted source that Voss is looking to find out what he can do to basically, hey, this pizza thing, this is a perfect example why we don't need any cannabis in Wisconsin. So I'm like, shit, we gotta hit this front on. And you know, we've been talking quite a while. A lot of you guys, we've been talking like it'd be great if we could get the activists, the businesses, the hemp in Wisconsin. I'll get to the hemp in Wisconsin for consumers here in just a minute, and explaining why, if we do this right, we essentially are legalized already in about a 90% capacity, I would say. We'll get to that in a second, but this is a chance for us to all come together. There's so many awesome people who've done so much work, whether it's I don't want to name names, but I got to give some credit out there because there's people that have been around doing this forever. So you got your Jay, you know, on the political side forever. Schaffenhofer, still can't say his fucking name. Love you, Jay. Sorry. It is what it is with your last name situation. You got Phil with Weefma. You've got Craig with Three Tall Pines. There's so many people that have been in Wisconsin cannabis far longer than I And I've had to deal with the frustration, the confusion, the miscommunication with the public, for only, a couple years and a year now in the like spotlight of the public. But what I knew when I came into Wisconsin cannabis via Let's Legalize Wisconsin was I need to remain transparent. I need to try to be the glue that I think is the one thing that's missing in Wisconsin cannabis. All the people in Wisconsin cannabis, all the businesses, all the activists, Allen Robinson down in Milwaukee. I mean, or Madison. Damn it. I always get mad. Milwaukee, Madison. Down there, down south. We're up north here, boys. That's how we talk. We all share a passion for the same plant that is fucking beautiful and helps chill, helps relax, and helps so many people with medicinal issues or ailments, right? We have the capacity to focus on moving forward together. And I think the pizza thing is the perfect, not perfect, because obviously ideally there's not an accident that happens, but I think there's a spotlight on what is the cannabis industry going to do in Wisconsin, right? And I think this is our chance to come together, get the voice together, and work on some kind of a generic, not regulation, right? That nobody wants this big ass machine to come through from the Capitol saying, "Oh, you got that edible? It's got to go through 50 billion different tests and 14 times it's got to be dropped off at a state facility to verify the sugar came from, right? Common sense, though, right? Guidance, oversight, working together to form that while we still have a chance, I think is huge. I think if we take this seriously, we take this right, we come to the table, we put our egos aside, and we focus on educating the public of what you guys have like Philip Scott says, cannabis has been legal since 2018. It really has. It's taken some time to figure out how to interpret the laws, that kind of thing. But let's cover your ass. Let's cover the people's ass. Let's start just having some kind. Again, I don't want to be the one spitting out because this is not a me thing. Just like with the people in Let's Legalize Wisconsin, it's the same with the Wisconsin businesses and activists. I just want to be the plug guy. I want to be on the bus. I want to be hyping up your business. I want to be hyping up the people. That's my jam, right? You guys focus on what you feel you need to be a little more transparent with folks. I think we need to educate the public by figuring out how we exactly explain THCA, if we all explain it the same way, or we all have a pamphlet or one website that people go to watch a quick video to understand it. Just a few guidelines, a few helping each other out. Like, hey, I understand where you're coming from with that packaging, but a kid can open that packaging. And now if we get this alliance together, when it comes to packaging or when it comes to lab testing, now if we've got multiple businesses, now we can go to a lab or a manufacturer and be like, hey, we got multiple businesses. What kind of discount can you get us? Right. I think this is a perfect opportunity to really fine tune the industry before anybody else gets involved from a political standpoint or anything like that. And right here, Don, I see something like developing best practices, including quality control. 100%. I'm not going to lie. It frustrates the hell out of me. Like, I was actually going to maybe even skip this. I'm so fucking tired. But I know there were some folks coming around with some questions. I want to make sure I get those answered. So please bear with me, folks. Back to what Don's saying. Quality control or standards, practices. It doesn't have to be overdone. But I do think, especially THCA flower and edibles, those are the first two things that come to mind. If we could find some kind of a very similar, even if it's just a sticker. So your flower strains, there's stickers that, and actually I've seen, if I think of a couple of you guys, a lot of you have a similar one, which is a sticker. It has the strain at the top. It has the THCA, the CBD, the terpenes. Just coming up with some things to help the consumers and to help us make sure we know what we're identifying when a customer picks it up, and so that a customer can gain that trust in the Wisconsin industry. There are products in Wisconsin. If you're driving to Michigan, you don't have to. I'm working on making sure, and I've got a great list of people who I already felt are doing it right and are taking those measures, but I still need to be uber confident in that situation, just because I've been in the industry for a while and there's some folks out there that take some shortcuts, and I understand a shortcut, right? But I just got to be able to rest my head at night. if you will. And so if we just work together on these few little things, it's not like we got to overhaul the entire industry, but at the same time, if we can get to that table and start coming together on a few things, I don't know why this is probably really bizarre, but I feel like you look at any other state that's legalized, there's a lot of stuff behind closed doors. And I think that's how money ends up taking over at some point. If we include the people in what we're doing, hey, here's what we're thinking, folks. Here's our vote on our design for the best, easiest for you guys, the consumers. Let's engage the consumers. Which would you like to see on your pre-rolls or your flower? From us who care about what you care about, right? Let's not take the political approach, which is here's how it is, and if you don't like it, fuck off, or you're on the other side, fuck you. No, let's do this together, especially because now if the politicians, whenever they decide they want to start doing something, that's great. But please have us at the table because we've been sweating our ass off here at this Safety Alliance where we're trying to educate the consumer because you guys have nothing in place for us. There's no standards, guidelines for you guys to follow here in the state. I can't blame you for what you're doing when you're kind of making it up as you go. Let's be honest, right? Like there's no playbook on how to run a cannabis business here in Wisconsin. There's no playbook on how potent your products can be because technically the way the bill is written, you can make any edible. There's just so much, right? And I understand you guys have your livelihoods, your time, your effort, your pocketbook from, I can't even imagine what some of you have mortgaged to start your business. And like, bro, I get it 100%. And the only reason I was tied into Michigan at some point was in a sponsorship, but please note, and on purpose, the sponsorship was only for the podcast. It wasn't for Let's Legalize Wisconsin. Now, I did do some shout outs on the page and that kind of stuff, but it's always been reserved the right to work with Wisconsin businesses because there was going to be a point, and that has to be the focus. And I'm at a point where I've got a little window here where I don't have to worry about a sponsorship, knock on wood, for like a month. And I feel like it's the time to shift the focus to get it done right here in the state to, again, because the hardest thing for me is to try to get you guys to come together because I understand there's some beefs out there. I understand some shit went down. But from this side, I can't just say, hey, you've helped me the most, so whoever you don't like, I don't like, right? We got to come to the table. And we got to prove that we can work together. And if you can't work together or with a team, you're going to work yourself out. And that's what has to happen. There has to be, I can't find another way to start some kind of an alliance, coalition, whatever you want to call it, where like, how do you decide who's allowed and who's not? You got to, in my opinion, now let's get a little crazy, but you bring the people to the table, you keep the people involved. And if they're assholes, that'll be figured out pretty quick. No one's going to want to deal with them. Oh my God, I've been missing the comments. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm just over here yapping. Javin, THC is poor excuse for cannabis. Some THC is. I've tried to take my foot off of trying to bash people upside the head, but I can get you probably 4 or 5 people that I went round and round on this for days, nonstop, and finally got them to understand that I hate to say it, but you're incorrect on this one. If you get the quality THCA product, you got to remember, we're not talking a Michigan where if you go and you get infused pre-roll, you're in for a ride, right? In Wisconsin, I can make a THCA infused pre-roll and it could have a Minutenhauser. Oh man, I don't think I've ever shared that word with you guys. It could have a little one crystal of THCA that I found laying around. It doesn't even have that THCA in it. In Wisconsin, there's nothing, right? There's nothing. If we focus on the people who are doing it right, there is quality product in Wisconsin 100%. 100%. When I say quality, I'm saying same as what you're getting out of state. A lot of people are agreeing, so that's good. Seal of approval, members commit to best practices and contributing to developing them. Right, exactly. And what we do might be grandfathered into legislation. Exactly, yes, to figure out the things that you always run into, right? I feel like any state that's legalized, I feel like the public is just waiting, and then boom, here's what you got, right? Like, why does it have to be this is what it is, right? Why don't we, as people, there's nothing in place right now. Why don't we figure out a way to, even if it's a very small percentage right now, because I know a lot of people are not, throw around money, but let's figure out a small way to give back to our communities that have, let's figure out some kind of a social equity program. Why can't we? It doesn't have to be, you have to give half of your business away, right? But if we figure out, at the table again, I'm not trying to be the guy that's like, hey, here's what you do, guys. Fuck you, get on. No, this is a we thing. Is 5%, maybe 5%. We get back to communities that have been, the most stricken by cannabis over the years, or something. Maybe we just go pick up garbage at parks in different neighborhoods as a team, or like there's so many opportunities. And for so long, I just feel like you guys don't realize how much the same you really are. A lot of you that are, have this going on, which I completely get, right? I completely understand that. But we're at a point where I feel like this is our chance to either do something or pretend nothing happened. And then it just ends up, boom, here's how it's going to be from somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So, business start a third-party cannabis testing facility, right? Adopt the highway. Exactly. Half the high, Bobby. That is, again, I can show you, I don't know what the exact percentage is when I was working in dispensaries with THCA, because I feel like everything just keeps getting more potent. But we did a test. 50% of the one dispensary in Michigan, their flower, 50% of it could legally have been sold in Wisconsin, given the guidelines that are in place at a federal and state level. And the most potent doesn't happen to be the THC on flower; it's the THCA content. It's a whole clusterfuck. I hope to have a flyer or something. The easiest way to show you, Javin, come on over. I know you're not around, and I know when I saw you, I'm doing the panels and stuff at HempFest. There's always something going on. But once we start being able to figure out how to educate the people, and even the politicians, let them know, hey, we have a serious product and we're taking it serious. Here's what we're doing. There was a gentleman who was going to be stopping by with a couple questions. Hemp is cannabis and cannabis is hemp, right, Peter? Yep. No one wants big government. Exactly. At some point, we're asking for a basic standard to hold bad actors accountable. 100%. If that's the case, then it's legal and everything. It's not just fine in Wisconsin, though, because people are in jail for having THCA flower. Because it's not fine. Javid, I'm not trying to be arrogant. I know you're trying to come off as a little bit of a smart ass. I get it. I was in your same shoes, bro. And many people were. That's not how it works, though, man. That's just a fact. I understand where you're coming from, but it doesn't mean everything's fine here. No, but it means we have a good product. Let's figure out some guidelines. Let's get it to the people. And hopefully, since we're doing that right, some of the things that we try to come together as and work on, that when legislation does go through the Capitol building down there in Madison, it's like, well, wait a second. Don't just rush that through. Here's everything we've done. We've implemented this, that, the other thing. We'll talk to the news, whatever we got to do, right? And we're involving the people, right? We're not just saying to the people, hey, here's how we're going to legalize hemp, or not legalize hemp. Here's how we're going to hyper focus on the quality products that are here in Wisconsin. No, we want those people involved. So some of our farmers' flowers testing at 31 THCA and 0.24 THC. I saw a couple today. Because there's still plenty of issues with cannabis. But I would rather focus on using what we have, which is already here in the state, and especially if we can come together to show that we're working together and that we're educating people and putting safety first, so that when we do legalize, it's not just who has money to go to the Capitol and get their way. 31% THC. No flower is 31% Delta 9 THC. None. If that was the case, you would get high if you ate the flower. Javin, do you have any flower that if you eat it, you get high? No, you don't. It needs to be lit on fire. That is THCA. If you're in a legal state, they're never going to talk about THCA. Completely understandable. It is very confusing, so I would say it's a good thing. But Javin, do you have any flower that if you eat it, you get high? Because if it has that much Delta 9, you would get high. I'll wait for your response quick. Because maybe he has 31% Delta 9 THC, and that would probably be a good seller. Because I feel like some people might just keep bud in their pocket and then just eat it instead of having to light it up and it smell even stronger because of smoke. Javin, do you have 31% flower that you can eat and get high? I hate putting people on the spot, but I see this is going to just keep going. Exactly, you don't, sir. That has to be lit on fire. This is just a whole thing that got figured out not too long ago. And it's not Delta 9 in your flower. It's THCA in your flower. Got to light it on fire. That's where the A comes in. I walked into Sunnyside and bought flower. It was 29% THCA and 1% THC, which again would be legal here in Wisconsin. So yeah, basically super excited about the alliance. Had a lot of folks reach out. I think we're up to like the members. I think we hit like 16 or 17 today. It's only been 24 hours, which is awesome. Again, please, let's try working together. I understand there's been shit in the past. I understand, you've felt wrong, some of you, and rightfully so, rightfully so. But especially in today's world, we can't just hold grudges and shut other people out. I mean, don't get me wrong. Not everyone's going to show up to the table. And I get that. I respect you if you don't. I'm not saying you have to. But I think to really make change in this world, we need to get back to like the old days of people trying to work with each other. And if people are bad apples, let them prove it to your peers, right? It's so hard in today's world to know what's truth and what's not, just like THCA, right? Everyone thinks it's not, right? So please, if you're in the cannabis industry and you want to, I think if you're in the cannabis industry at all, I think you should try to come to the table to be a part of it, because I think every voice matters, especially when we're talking about how do we set up cannabis in Wisconsin so that when the switch goes to legal, right, that we have enough good players to say, hey, we don't need to go crazy with out of state, right? Or, don't worry. It's gonna be interesting no matter what happens. But I think we get that network going. We get, we cover the state in trusted places and good labeling places. Safety first. Okay, Javin, I know you've got a bag of Gary Payton in your hands, and could you eat some of that and let me know if you get high? Because Delta 9 is what's in your edibles in high doses. Okay, Delta 9 means ready to get you high. Is the easiest way I can put it. And I'm going to tell you, if you eat your Gary Payton, that's 26.1, or if it's 31, or if it's 38. If you eat it, you're not going to get high because you haven't converted the THCA. It's not 26% Delta 9, bro. It's not until you light it on fire. Actually, I'll show you real quick. This is the formula. Thank you. That is it. So THC conversion. This wasn't even a thing not that long ago. THCA flower conversion equation. This is where science sometimes has a plus because they didn't write anything about this in the bill. So that's why this is legal. Just like, I'm sorry. I'm glad the hemp business, I guess, isn't in trouble with the pizza thing, but I cannot believe that the city, I thought for sure once the health and safety department got involved, like, fuck, this is going to be serious for somebody. And I don't know if you guys saw, but they came back today and said there's going to be no citation or no fine because they don't have a law for it. Like, that's just, again, they're going to be figuring that out pretty quick that they need to do something. So I think it's better that we, the people, we, the consumers, we, the businesses of Wisconsin who've been in this fucking thing. And I'm not the guy you guys have been in. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to brag like I'm been anywhere near due time compared to you guys. But so the flower equation here, how do I share this? Well, I don't want to, it's too much to share. So when you get flower and it says what the total THCA is on the bag, it is taking THCA and timesing that by 0.877. Now you say, well, why wouldn't you times it by 100%? Because when you light it on fire, you got to lose some of it. Like, it's common sense. It's going to burn off some of that. I'm trying to keep up with comments. I'm all over the place. I'm so sorry, guys. Total THC. The table is big. We have almost 8 million folks spread across 72 counties. Just with the folks that are already a part of the alliance, Philip, I was trying to do some rough math. I feel like we have definitely over 1 million people reach, and I don't think that's too crazy to say. When we look at some of the, I don't know what some of y'all's customers list look like, because a lot of you guys have found people who understand what you do, right? And you're already doing your thing. And again, the only reason I haven't been able to super endorse Wisconsin is just because of where I came from. I need a little more than just your word, and that's not trying to be a dick. I want to just be able to check a couple things and be like, okay, they're taking these measures, that kind of thing. Because again, that's what got me started in Let's Legalize Wisconsin, is not knowing how things are really made and that kind of stuff. And I think we can definitely do that. Roy, what's up, man? Jeremy says if you eat 4 grams of cannabis, you have roughly consumed 10 milligrams of T9. Yeah, that's not too much there. Jeremy Smith, 0.87. Okay, yep, that's what it was. Jeremy's the and like Jeremy, you'd be huge to have at the table. You're a chemist, bro. Like, there's not much chemistry going. Wait, that sound. You know what I mean. There's a reason why you need to decarbonize before you make oil for edibles. Exactly. Yep. When you light THC on fire, the hydrogen. Thank you. This is what I was looking for, and I didn't have it handy. The hydrogen molecule breaks off. Then you lose about a third in the conversion if it's 30% THCA. After you run, you're really smoking 21 to 23 left, right? And a lot of you guys haven't even just got the chance to meet each other. So I'm really looking forward to people checking what happened in the past. Understand shit's fucked in some situations. But if people really did wrong you and people really do have ill intent, it's going to show its face at the table. And I think this is the best, the fair, most fair. Oh, God, I could sound like Trump. Again, I support people who vote for both. I think both have great qualities. I think both need some fine tuning for sure. But, boy, I can do a hell of a Trump impression when I'm going. This alliance, it's going to be huge. It's going to be the biggest alliance you've ever seen. It's going to be bigger than China's alliance. It's going to be untouchable. We're going to do the greatest you've ever. Oh, I'm not really getting his voice down because I'm watching my face. It's kind of weird. But you get the drift. There is nothing stopping us from doing this right, guys. Let's figure it out. Again, we don't need to have 4 billion labels, and a product doesn't have to go through 14 different quality control checks. But let's just develop some standard practice, common sense, protecting each other, protecting the businesses, and let's figure out a way to engage with the public, get that education out there, give back to them. Let's fucking have fun, right? If we're following the law, if we're going above and beyond now at this point, right? We don't have to be coming together to try to make things more safely accessible. We don't. But to me, and I think to a lot of Wisconsin people who especially think Michigan is where you got to go, I think that starts to break those barriers down, right? Like, well, wait a second, what? Look how many people are coming together. What are they doing over here, right? Let's get them curious. Let's get them interested, and let's get them engaged. I think it'd be huge. I never thought of that. When we coming up with a label, there's going to be a lot of us hopefully at the table. How we decide? We get the people involved. Hey, just making sure. Can you guys think of anything else you'd like to see on here? We don't have to listen to everybody, but if we get 50 comments of people saying, hey, wait, what about maybe you should put the THCA conversion rate on there so it's easier for people to understand. Like, that might be something we miss out, but Johnny on the spot thought of it, right? Let's use our resources. Let's work together. Let's give credit where credit's due. If the public comes up with something to help us, like if one dude brought up that conversion thing and we run with it, like that was so smart, good thing he brought it up, we'll come up with some product. We'll do it legally. I think this could be huge. I think we can, other than you don't have any authority. Just like the pizza thing, bro. So Jav, you might not have heard this. What a clusterfuck this weekend. There's a shared kitchen. Somebody accidentally grabbed from the infused kitchen, grabbed Delta 9, hemp-derived Delta 9. Doesn't matter where it's derived from. It's still the same Delta 9 THC that gets you high, folks. Grabbed that, made 60 pizzas that got consumed by the public. 60 pizzas were infused on accident. 25 people, at least now, is the number I saw today in a news article. 25 people ended up going to the hospital. Nobody was expecting to eat an infused pizza. You're at a normal pizza shop. You go home and you're like, whoa, bro, what's going on, right? And you don't smoke cannabis. You don't use cannabis. I'm assuming there were some people that got high that didn't at the time want to get high, who were kind of like, bro, they hooked that pizza up. Like, I get that. But we can't just be willy-nilly and like that can't happen. But this happened. And then the Department of Health and Safety of Dane County, where Madison is, gets involved, does their due diligence, does their investigation. And then today says no citations. There's no law written on infuse. Nobody knows what they're doing here in Wisconsin. So yes, we don't have authority, but in my opinion, we're building authority because we're building it through common sense approach to a completely open market, right? Like, again, it's going to look your shelves will look a lot like what they do now. I'm talking just tweaking making sure everybody's got the child-proof safe, make sure nobody has the loud packaging that looks like just common sense stuff, right? We're not looking to redo the whole thing. A lot of you are already taking a lot of these steps. But if we highlight that and we let the people know, and we let the politicians know, and we let the police force, or like whoever, everybody, anybody that wants to know, we let them know what we are doing that we don't have to be doing. In my opinion, that is the biggest kind of authority, which is I'm just going to be doing this to help other fuckers out, even though it costs me money. I got to put an extra sticker on my label, but I'm going to do it because I care about the people. That's just my take. It could be a blessing in disguise if this brings light to the problem at hand. Exactly. The label is seen. Exactly. And I think, Dawn, because one thing that comes to my mind is we don't want to end up like the Tavern League, which I feel like people either love it or hate it. And to me, the way you do that is I feel like we have to keep the public involved. And that's not to be a dick or anything. I think there has to be transparency. Like if something gets established, right, and this is what the industry leaders come up with at the table, we're going to do this, right, da 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 da. But now, if there's a big monumental shift of some sort that has to get voted on or something, I feel like that should be open to the public to see. I think keeping the public involved is how we all protect ourselves too, in my opinion. Now, I'm not running the business. I don't think we have to be sharing finances. I understand business, and I feel like, especially if you're in this business, like if you're making money, it's well deserved, because I cannot imagine the amount of fucking stress you're dealing with. So, Doc says you can still get THCA diamonds from Delta 8 products. They have no clue it's actually going into edibles and drinks. Exactly. No fines to the business now announced today, but I'd guess the 25 to 60 folks who bought pizza those days will file. Yeah, I could see that. Anna said, I always had a safe when my kids were growing up, right? And just like just like a perfect example, a lot of the Republican politicians were just saying, well, we don't know, we don't want flour, because how do you know where that came from? And then the take it. There's simple solutions, folks. It should be, I mean, even if we had to get something in the trunk of our cars, that if we go to a place, like there's just so many options. I don't know why I got on that tangent. I'm tired, bro, guys. I'm sorry. Hashtag, yes, Heather, exactly. Heather's trying to get me connected with those folks. I think it'd be great. And again, the only thing that I hope I can bring to this table is I don't want to be. I've had a few people like, I don't know how we structure it. Right, we'll figure that out. We got to start at the table, and I think we figure out together how we want to structure things. And I feel most confident and most well. Jesus, I'm not good with words, and I'm the one talking here. I feel the most helpful when I am kind of that focus of, well, here's where we're at. Here's what I've noticed on the page that people's concerns are here. I don't want to be necessarily at the trying to be like, hey, we need to do something here. What are we going to do? Now, if the people are, then I could see me getting up and doing that. But does not have to at all be a Bobby Beans is running this thing. Like, again, I want to facilitate and just open the table. That is my biggest contribution, is trying to open the table to let everybody show up. You're excused. You have a newborn. Thank you. Compliance labels, state mandated in Arizona and tested by a third party before allowed to sell. Right? I mean, it's pretty common sense stuff, right? And like the fact that there's some folks that have edibles out there that don't have expiration dates. That's something we should probably get under wraps, in my opinion. That'd be one of the things I bring to the table is, again, kind of some common sense and maybe you're just not even thinking about it. Again, there's no playbook on how you should be doing your shit. So that's really what the Alliance is. If you're interested in joining, please apply so I'm hoping that we can just schedule something quick next week to get the ball rolling. This is something that we can't, I don't know about you guys. Maybe it's a cannabis industry thing. Maybe it's a cannabis consumer thing, because I definitely do this. But I'm terrible at, bro, I got this idea. Ask man, I call a lot of you like, bro, I got this idea. And you guys are probably like, God, here we go again. Right? Because I'll come up with an idea, but then I just fucking leave it over there and I'll get to it next week. And I think our time to do this is a very short window, as far as we control the narrative or we control our destiny, not the narrative. The narrative's already set. We want to help. You guys want to help. You wouldn't be reaching out. You just be like, no, I'm good right now. And you could just say I'm crazy. A lot of people would fucking believe you. So, Dave, you're stepping up. Good on you. Thanks, man. Making waves. Let's go. That's our goal. Good waves. We don't need like waves that are pushing you away from your families and your houses and your mortgage payments, right? We want good waves coming at you. The alliance can be the power for the people. Actually, the collective of money we could put together as a group could allow us to be a super PAC and help write language that people want. That was another thing I thought of, Philip, and hoping we got some lawyer friends to check in with on that, because I feel like it would be huge to be able to navigate and figure out how we do any kind of legislation, which I have spent a few hours trying to dig into a couple different times. And it's just very confusing. But again, if we're talking now, like the People's Bill, right? That was just a real rough draft. I spent just getting some general thoughts together, looking at other states that legalized, shared it with the people. But now if we have folks who have been in the industry putting and signing the name of that, like the Declaration of Independence, that thing didn't hold much weight if it's just signed by one motherfucker. No, they had, whoa, right? So when you go somewhere, it's like, well, here's what we want to do, and whoever takes it's like, oh, cool, that's great. Yeah, oh shit, that many people are on board. This ain't gonna be as easy as I thought it was to just say screw you, right? That's the main goal of this alliance, 100%. Oh my God, if I get another email, bro, I feel bad for these old folks who got to be getting these emails and thinking that this email is sent just to them. I just got an email from Barack Obama that Kamala really needs my donation. If I can just donate $47, because she could be the 47th president. Man, politics are just crazy, bro. Just crazy. I do. If you're doing a great thing being the voice for so many, I appreciate that, Doc. That's all I'm trying to do, is the voice of many, right? I'm not trying to be the voice that you have to listen to, just the guy in the fucking middle. I'm completely cool with that. Kevin, Anna, wake and bake at, oh, we probably got to delete this guy. Sounds like a scammer. What do you guys have? Again, there's no real super structure to this thing yet, because I don't think this should be something that you, only a handful of us start working on. I feel like this is a good idea, a good great opportunity. And I think it should be discussed at a table with people joining it, chiming in too, just like this. Basically a table, but one of those seats is a little shared to the fucking Let's Legalize Wisconsin, because these folks fucking matter. They kick ass. They tune into my podcast, not for me to discuss cannabis in Wisconsin. We get people coming in asking questions all the time. That's what this shit's about. So please check if you haven't signed up and you want to be a part of the table, please do so. I finally made it easy to follow URL link, because I don't know what the hell's going on out there. Is it bit.ly/ if somebody can click this just to make sure it works in the comments. Hopefully it does, so I don't have to try to put a new one down there. It's just asking your name, number, but put the best way to contact you, please, because I think next week we got to get like a half hour, 45 minutes of just getting the minds just meeting each other even. Run with it now while the fire is hot and people remember it. Well, exactly. And again, it's not I hated that I said great, because it's not a great thing that happened, but we have two choices, and I think this choice is great right now, especially with politicians focusing on who's going to win their seat because they actually have to run for a change. Look at how the BBB operates. Yeah, that's a great, Don, and I'm actually going to, that's a good point. That's kind of going to be my homework, is try to look at some other associations out there. Again, not like the Tavern League, or I guess I don't want to knock them. I don't really understand it, but I want to make sure we include the people. Heather says she clicked it. It works. That's what's up. Cool. Does anyone have any questions about the Wisconsin? Again, and not even the name, bro. I don't want it to be what I thought it was down here in the dungeon. That's a placeholder. Maybe it is the name we keep, but if we do, it's your guys' decision. I'm not trying to do this to fucking toot my own horn. I swear to God, I'm just so happy that I can be doing what I am and to be able to provide for my family. Granted, in about a month, it's gonna be a little tricky if I can't figure out something, but that's on me. That does not affect this. The mission has always been Wisconsin businesses first. And if I can just get a little bit of trust and build that network, you best believe that bus is going to be hitting up all them stores, and we're going to be educating like a motherfucker. And I'm just looking forward to it. Make a press release. I made a press release. Yes, Javin, I did. When all these people were calling, I had to Google, how do you tell one story to multiple places, learn kind of about the press release. Actually, I'll show you guys real quick. I thought it turned out kind of official looking. And I'm sure we're going to need to be doing more of these now that we got ourselves situated where we are. A couple crazy fucking days, guys. I tell you what.
To tell your story to multiple places and write a press release.
Yo, my Google machine is thought I was talking to them. Google, you got the night off. Go away. Well, I can't find it, but it turned out pretty slick, I thought. Oh, here we go. Actually, I sent one to a bunch of news places, so why not just grab it? I feel like we are learning some shit, boys and girls. I can't find. I don't know. I'm seriously toast. I'm ready for bed, I think. I appreciate you guys for taking the time to swing by. I appreciate all the businesses I've touched base with over the past couple of days. And again, that was not. I didn't know what to do. I knew I had to do something. I knew I couldn't run from it anymore. And in my opinion, something like that needs to be owned up by somebody. And I'm okay taking the heat when I know the people got my back. I knew the people would respect that, and they did. And I knew the business would. I still know who the business is. I feel a couple people have told me, but I don't want to be a prior or whatever. So there was no ill intent. If that I had heat, I needed to make a move, and in my opinion, transparency and truthfulness is key. And we need some standards. It's not saying that I don't even know exactly how it happened. All I could do is take what I could find in the news and that kind of stuff. And I think I handled it as best I could. And I felt like we needed to give them show them that this isn't just talk, because I feel like, especially when you're kind of treated unequally, because we're in the cannabis industry, right? We're just a bunch of crazies and like to get high and don't like to be serious. I felt there was no choice but to figure out a way to put safety at the forefront of cannabis in Wisconsin, to protect what you guys have built, and my platform to help you guys. And again, that was owning up to it. So thanks, Javin. Appreciate that, sir. And again, I wasn't trying to be a dick earlier. I swear. I just been down this road with the THCA, and I understand, especially if you're in a legal state, there's nobody there is worried about THCA, and I don't blame you, because it's super fucking confusing, and just leave it how it is out there. Trust me. For now, that's what I would roll with. So out here in Wisconsin, we gotta figure out some things. So we get pretty creative. That's where THCA comes in. I hope everybody has a good night. Please join up if you haven't yet. Let's get Wisconsin cannabis at the front of this shit. Let's go. Hope everybody has a good night. Appreciate y'all. Bobby Beans, we're out of here. And gonna hopefully. Oh fuck, the Yankees are playing. I gotta go check on that. They're down a few games though, so not holding my breath. All right, guys. Catch you guys later. Bobby Beans.